The two Red Eyes monsters that we are playing are Red Eyes Darkness Metal, as well as Red Eyes Meteor Dragon. We all should know what Darkness Metal does, but basically, you special summon it by banishing a face-up dragon monster you control, and then it can bring from the hand or the grave another dragon monster. That means any dragon monster. Any dragon monster. Then we're playing the Black Metal, which can pitch the driver to the graveyard from hand or deck in order to special summon itself from the hand, and then it becomes a level 7. Not really that big of a deal, but it is a free body, and it's a dark, which is pretty nice. And it's a level 5 or higher, or level 6 or higher for Bestial Lub, which is pretty nice. As for the rest of it, it's pretty simple. Triple Max C, double Gamma, as well as the one driver, and triple Ash Blossom for our hand traps. Not playing things like Infip is pretty standard at this point in Dragon Link, mostly because of the fact that you don't really want it as much, because most of your plays are from the hand, so setting a card isn't really all that useful. It's not that big of a deal, though, but since the Bestials also kind of are hand traps, you don't really need any more. And Gamma definitely helps a lot more in just stopping plays. Now, granted, you could cut the Gamma in general for Infip. I think that's not that big of a deal. But that does make the Red Eyes engine significantly worse, because then you don't have that normal target. You'd have to play a different normal monster, which is just not worth it. So, there you go. As for the rest, we are playing the full Rocket package, the triple Tracer, 1 Recharge, 1 Caliber, and the 2 Quick Launch. That's basically it. And then, of course, the 1 Boot Sector launch as well. For the Bestials, lots of them. We're not running Baldrake because Baldrake is bad. That's it. It's just not useful nearly as much. So we're playing the 1 Magnuma, the triple Saronir, and the 1 Druis Worm, as well as the triple Lubellion and 1 Regained. For the miscellaneous cards, we're running things like 1 Absorouter, 1 Levianeer. Levianeer is still good, even though we're not running Safer. It's still a good target. It's nice to get off of Chaos Space. You pitch things like a driver that's in your hand, or even an extra Lubellion, or a Gamma that's dead, or something like that, in order to grab up the Levianeer. It's pretty nice. Anyway. And then we're also running 1 triple tack for cross-out target. Again, these could also be like, you could take out the cross-out for an Infib. You could take out the triple tack for an Infib. You could take out, you could play something else in these spots. These are more flex spots, but they're still pretty nice. Still running the 2 Chaos Space. You could cut this, realistically, but I still think it's worth it. The 1 Dragon Ravine, the 1 Boot Sector, as I mentioned previously, and the 1 Regained, and then, of course, 2 Called By and the 1 Crossout. As for the extra deck, this is where things get interesting. There is 1 open slot. The rest is pretty much set in stone. So, let's talk about the set in stone cards. 1 Borreload Savage, 1 Baron de Fleur, 1 Bestial Dispotter. Pretty standard. All of these are fantastic cards and absolutely necessary, especially Dispotter. As for the links, Pisty, 2 Striker Dragon, Seal, Romulus, Masquerena, Dark, Triple Burst, Unicorn, Access Code Talker, and of course, Boral End. Now, I say there's only 1 flex spot, but realistically, there's technically 3. I think Masquerena, Unicorn, and Delirious are all technically something that you could change out, but the other 2 in particular, other than Delirious, are more so pretty standard and are still very, very useful. So there's that. Why do I think Delirious Dragon is useful? Basically, what it allows you to do is any 2 Dark Dragons, you link it off, you go into your Boral End, and then you use Boral End's effect in order to bring back a guy, and then that will trigger Delirious to special summon itself, and then that also just gives you a target for the IP Masquerena that you could make. It gives you access to things like Access Code on top of the Boral End for going second. It gives you another dragon for something like a Hieratic Seals or what have you, and it also means that if you end up like getting stuck, maybe you don't have quite enough materials to go into something like a Boral End, you can instead go like Seals after going for the Delirious, and then on the following turn, you can summon back the Delirious. When you could summon a Tracer off of the Seals, and then that could summon Delirious. You could also summon potentially, you could like bounce with the Seals, and then if you have the, another Rocket in hand, the Delirious can come back. This could also be something like a Stardust. Where is he? Start a 6L for Gamma. That's also an option, right? Not a terrible option, but still an option. This could also be a Tomb. I'm not a big fan of a Tomb because not really playing as enough Bestials for that to really be worth it. And most of the time, what would you grab? You would grab like Magnamut. So, not really that big of a deal. Let's hop into the replays and show you how this deck performed. Alright, here we are going second, and honestly, this is a pretty decent hand. Gamma, multiple starters, Levianeer, Crossout, not terrible. My opponent is playing Dark Magician. I don't know how well this Crossout's going to do. But they normal summon the Magician's Rod. That seems like the best Gamma target. I'm going to Gamma that. I also really don't want them to gain access to the Eternal Souls as well as the Circle. So there's that. But my opponent goes for Timaeus here. They go for Timaeus, activate the effect. Of course, they have the Dark Magician in their hand. And out comes Dark Magician Dragon. Which basically is just a big unaffected Bungus because of the souls that we know that they have. So we're just going to ignore them. It doesn't do anything, but you know, cool. They're gonna do a whole bunch of things. It doesn't matter. Just trust me, it does not matter. Let's stunt on a child, basically. We're gonna go for the Striker Dragon. We're gonna activate the Black Metal as Chainlink 1. Striker Dragon is Chainlink 2. It's more important to get the Black Metal here. We grab out the Boot Sector launch, which is pretty nice, because we do have the 2 rockets in hand. We're going to immediately go for the Red Eyes Darkness Metal and bring back the Black Metal. Now, if you didn't know, Black Metal Dragon is not once per turn, which means that's why we're playing, you know, multiple of the Red Eyes cards. Normally, we wouldn't, right? But because Black Metal is a soft once per turn, that means we can go for, or it's not even a once per turn. But there you go. Now we can go for the second one. We're going to go Ravine here because our normal monster is already banished. So we're just going to go for the Ravine, pitching the, what's his face? The Black Metal, which then sent Saronir, which sent the Lubellion. And now we can go for the Levianeer, send away a card. Out comes the Lubellion. We're going to activate the effect there in order to grab up the Regained. And now we can go for the second field spell and activate that effect. Alright, so here we go, Recharger into Pisty. And then link off in order to go into the Triple Burst. Activate the Pisty effect. I'm going to bring back a 6 so that I have the ability to go for my Dispotter. So yeah, out comes Dispotter. Activate the effect. We're going to bring back the level 6 as well. And then we're going to link those 2 off into Delirious. So this is the first time we see Delirious. Then we're going to link off into the Borrowland. Here we're going to activate, or sorry, we're going to go to battle first. I'm going to walk over the field, deal as much damage as I can, because I think I would have had less damage had I not done it this way, given what I'm specifically going for. If you didn't know, this big guy, he's just unaffected. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's unaffected by, like, battle, or he can't be destroyed by battle. So there's that. But now we're going to go for the Unicorn, because honestly, this Crossout Designator isn't really going to do anything, and I do want to get rid of the Eternal Souls, so there's that. And since Delirious was banished, we get to put it back. And we draw into Ash, which is just fantastic. Now, I haven't activated Striker Dragon. Let's activate Striker Dragon. We're going to activate the effect, grabbing the Recharger, and then we're going to pitch the Recharger, targeting the Striker in order to summon back the Dispotter. Cool. Cool, my opponent has 1 draw. Now, granted, we did shuffle away a card, but turns out, I guess, we didn't shuffle away the Magician's Rod. So they're going to go for that. Like, that's fine. Now, I do actually make a mistake here. I forgot to actually activate my Borrowland. I don't know why I forgot to do this, but I did. So out comes the Magician Navigation. I'm like, that's fine. Activate the Magician Navigation. That's fine. They're going to go for the Eternal Soul. And just pass. I'm going to negate the Magician's Rod here because it's funny. Anyway, we're going to make it Domain Phase. It draw a second Ash. Not really that big of a deal. But we're going to go Baron. And then I'm going to do a really funny play. So first and foremost, they're going to activate the Eternal Soul. I'm like, that's totally fine. I do not care. And you'll see why in a second. Sure, out comes the Dragon Knight. Again, that's totally fine. I really don't care. I didn't want to waste my negate. They could have something deadly in hand, like a Nibiru. Foreshadowing. So, we went to Dispotter, bring back the Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Keep that in mind. We linked off our Borrowland to go into Access Code. So now Access Code is 7,300 attack points. Yeah, I think you know where this is going. Yeah, bring back with bring back the darkness with the darkness metal, the Boral end. Cool, stunting on children. That's what you like to see. Get owned, Dark Magician player. I feel bad. All right, here we are once again going first this time. And yeah, it's not the greatest of hands, but let's see what it can do. We're gonna go for the Lubellion, which will be promptly hand trapped. I'm like, okay, that's fine. We have Ash Blossom, which is pretty good. Anyway, we're going to go normal summon the Caliber, to which my opponent will go Maxi, and I'm like, well, fine, I'll just pass. I have 2 Maxis and a Saronir. Maybe I do something here. I'm going to go for the Maxi. They're going to let that resolve. They're going to set 3 and pass. I'm like, haha, I got him. Keep that in mind. Anyway, I draw a Tracer, which is pretty nice. And the reason I normal summon the Tracer here is because it can play around Infip. And I'm like, one of these is probably Infip, right? So, there's that. Turns out it was Judgment. Don't know why they decided to Judgment there, but they did. So, goodbye, Tracer. Anyway, we're going to go Striker Dragon here. We're going to activate the effect of the Striker Dragon, which will be promptly ashed as well. And I'm like, okay. I'm confused. But okay. Anyway, here we go for the Saronir. I'm going to banish, I think, yeah, we banished the Tracer because I want Caliber engraved because there are less of them in the deck. So, there's that. Anyway, out comes Lubellion. Activate the Saronir, to the which now my opponent will call by. I don't know what's happening. I'm so very confused. I do not know why we didn't call by the target for the Saronir, but whatever, it's fine. Not that big of a deal. Anyway, Saronir is going to get banished. Nothing I can do about that. Cool. We're going to activate our Lubellion here. We're going to grab up the Regained. Realistically, I should do this post-combat, but it's not really that big of a deal. And it's Guru. It was Subterror this whole time. Playing Judgment. And like hand traps. I don't know what's going on. It's weird. Anyway, they grab Fiendus, which is nice. But I'm just gonna make Seals here, and Seals is an FTK. You know this. We all know this. Seals is an FTK, and my opponent agrees because they scoop it up. Goodbye. Good game. All right, and now I have a game where I literally play against Atem, the Pharaoh from Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, it's, first of all, I'm gonna just straight up say this. I play very poorly this game. But second of all, my opponent drew really well. But will it matter? So, my opponent is going to reveal Illusion of Chaos to grab up the Magician's Souls. And unlike every other Magician's player, they're gonna actually activate the Souls to special summon the Magician's Souls. They're gonna pitch just Soul Servant. I don't know why. They set a card, they go for Artemis, and then they pass the turn. And I'm like, okay. So they have the Eternal Soul, obviously that's what the set card is. And the Dark Magician Circle, that's fine. We have Lubellion, we have Black Metal, we even have Triple Tack if they like hand trap us, we have potential. So I'm feeling pretty good. We draw a second Black Metal, and now I'm feeling much worse. And then they just immediately fire off Magician's Combination, which, if you haven't read this card, don't. It's bad. It is technically a negate. So there's that, but realistically, it's not all that good. Cool, don't care. Moving on. This card literally doesn't do anything. Do not, just ignore it. Anyway, we're gonna grab up the Magnema here. We're gonna go normal summon the Black Metal. We're gonna go into Striker Dragon. We're then going to go and activate the Black Metal into the Striker Dragon, into the Ash Blossom. Now that action will have consequences. So, there's that. Kind of annoying, but honestly not that big of a deal. We're going to grab up the Darkness Metal. We're going to go Triple Tack. We're going to look at the hand. And what is in my opponent's hand, except for Evenly Matched. And of course, they kept the Illusion of Chaos. But I'm just going to get rid of the Magician's Rod. There it goes. Out comes the Red Eyes Darkness Metal. We're going to go for the Bestial Lubellion here. We're going to activate the effect of the Absorator, which we happened to summon off of the Black Metal. And yeah, there's that. Oh, that's why. Because I still had access to the Red Eyes Darkness, or the Red Eyes, yeah, the Black Metal Dragon here. I decided to not go for the, to not bring it back. That also is a bit of a mistake, because now I can't go Pisty, which does matter. So keep that in mind as well. Anyway, out comes the Ravine, out comes the Meteor Dragon. We're going to go for the Ravine here, and then we're going to go for the Black Meteor Dragon. Out comes the Magnemite. We're going to activate the effect of the Regained, as well as the Magnemite. Shuffle back the Dark Magician. Regained is going to grab the Bestiolub, which is pretty good. We're going to send it to the graveyard for the Sarnier. Sarnier is going to send the last Bestiolabellion, and then we're going to link off into the Delirious. And here I actually make a mistake. I was like, I'm going to go Seals. And then I went Access Code. I don't know why. I was just like, let's make Access Code here. Wrong choice. I was supposed to go Seals here. Anyway, I went Access Code. I popped this thing. And to be fair, I know it may seem like this was the wrong choice because now it's going to pop my access code. It's actually not that big of a deal. I don't really care about the access code being on my field. That's not really that important. But I don't want to banish Delirious. So yes, I could have potentially like popped this and then just kept that one useless card. But in all reality, I feel like, yes, I probably should have popped this. Maybe I should have popped this one. But it's not really that big of a deal. But I did make a mistake. That I'll say it, right? Anyway, my opponent's going to go. They're going to activate the effect. They're going to pitch the Evenly Matched, and just the Evenly Matched. And now comes the Illusion of Chaos, which we knew was in hand. They're going to grab the Magician Souls and shuffle a card back. Out comes the Magician Souls. They're going to dump for cost the Dark Magician, and I'm going to chain my Druid Worm. So Druid Worm is going to banish, and Maxi was the card that they drew. Great. Alright, cool. Anyway, they're going to draw an additional card, because of course they are. Regained is also going to activate, and we're going to draw our own card, which is Black Metal, which doesn't do anything. And of course they drew a Magician's Rod. Because why would they not? At this point, I'm like, okay, you're already getting the best search in your deck. I'm going to get you the ability to draw an additional card. It's not really that big of a deal. I'm just going to grab my Magnemite, which is follow-up. And a little bit more protection. And then they go into Anima, because of course my zones are bad. Again, I misplayed very horribly. Anyway, out comes the Eternal Soul, and I'm like, you simply just don't have Dark Magician. And of course they stack it, and I'm like, of course you don't. Anyway, out comes Dark. It takes my access code. I was using that. Why? No! My Regained! Alright, they're simply not going to pop... Okay, they popped the Dragon Ravine. To be fair, Dragon Ravine actually didn't do anything there, so it was actually probably better that they did, but oh well. I send the Dark to the graveyard. Here's the thing. Dark can search if I, like, walk over it in battle. And the access code is not doing anything, so, you know, who cares? I grab Levianeer here off of the Magma activation, and I'm feeling pretty good. Out comes the Rocket Tracer. I'm going to go for the Levianeer, activate the effect of the Levianeer, pop 2. And then at normal, summon our Tracer to go into Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon, grab up Boot Sector Launch, and then we're going to activate the Boot Sector Launch, and we're going to activate its effect in order to grab up the second Tracer, and then we're going to activate the Delirious Dragon in order to special summon itself, and then we're going to get Nibiru. Huh? Last card in hand was Nibiru? Man, sometimes your opponent's just better than you. I'm going to pop my Tracer. Realistically, I should have popped like Striker Dragon or something like that, but it's not that big of a deal. We're going to go for the Recharger. Everything goes to the graveyard. And we have a really large token. Except it's not that large, because my opponent can walk over it. Now, this is actually a blessing, because, guess what? It means that I can do full combo on the following turn. So, that's pretty nice. Well, full combo. Not really. I'm lying to you. But it allows me to do something, which is, again, pretty nice. So, because my opponent has more monsters than me, I can special summon from the grave, which means that we can bring back the level 4 Recharger, which is a non-turner, hence why I summoned it off of the Tracer. I wanted it in grave for this exact instance. And then we just normal summon the level 4, and out comes Borreload Savage with 4 counters, because access code. I can walk over the Nibiru. Whatever this card is, it's not doing anything. I don't know what they would need to draw, but it doesn't matter, because my opponent concedes. I told you I was playing against a Tem. They just drew the Nibiru. Cool. That's Heart of the Cards if I've ever seen it. And we're back with the deck. I know that 2 of those were against Dark Magician, but in all honesty, this was more so just to showcase that the deck is still good. Yeah, I still think that Dragon Link is pretty good. Do I think it's the best deck in the room? Not by a long shot. Do I think it's still good? yeah, it doesn't really need anything else to make it good. It's still very, very viable. I mean, an even worse Dragon Link did end up winning the World Championship, right? Granted, that was against a much weaker metagame because everything else was also nerfed into oblivion, but you get my point, right? Dragon Link is still not dead. It's still very, very good. The triple Bestial Lubellion is fantastic. Being able to play triple Saronir as well is very nice. Dispotter is an absolutely insane card and is just crazy when you think about it. And then having multiple Striker Dragon actually does matter. Sure, Chaos Base isn't that great anymore, but it's still good, you know? There's still a lot of these things that make it good. We'll see how it shakes out. I would imagine people are still going to play it. It's still good. It's still fun. And yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, I like us very much. So appreciate it. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.